Alright, I am here with Clayton from Celldweller, and I have a few questions for you, Clayton.
Sure.
How do you feel like you've grown and adapted and developed from when you first started making music?
How? Wow, that's a complicated question. And I'm not sure how I could even answer that quickly, but the most obvious things would be in production, in vision, in consistency, and just like executing things much more quickly than I used to be able to.
Okay. How did you know that making music is what you wanted to do?
Because I was studying to be a doctor, and I hate people so much that I just couldn't go through with it. All I wanted to do was ever play music, and at that time practice drums.
You look like a doctor.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Who would you say has influenced your music and your life?
Again, that's such a broad question. Family is very important to me, so my family indirectly has. The rest of the world has done its share. It's like, you know, you are a product of your own environment, and I'm basically a product of how I grew up, and that kind of shaped who I am. You know, I spent a lot of time as a kid getting beat up by all the other kids in school, and I guess that turned me into an adult prick.
What has it been like to see your music selected for various video games, movies, and TV shows?
It pays my bills. So I don't get really ever caught up in you know, over glamorizing what it is. In fact, most of the music, or most of the movies, video games, and television shows that my music has been in, I haven't even really seen myself. It's just I get a call from management saying, hey, this has been placed, and I'm like, great, and then what's next?
Okay. What was it like to work with illusionist Chris Angel?
I mean, he and I have been friends for a long time. So we had a show together. Excuse me. We had a show together for about 6 years, and actually both of us at that point were kind of on a much lower scale in the grand scheme of things. So over the last years, I mean, he's opened his show in Vegas and has his own television show, and it's been cool, kind of both to watch each other kind of like sprout.
That's cool.
In our careers.
How do you come up with a concept for an album, and what's your process of creation?
There are rarely concepts for my albums. My albums conceptually are just stories about my life. So if they end up sounding conceptual, it's probably because I wrote the lyrics around the same time. What was the second question?
What's your process of creation?
Well, there really is none. It just depends on what inspires me. It might be a drum beat, it might be a vocal idea, it might be a lyrical idea, it might be a visual that someone gives me and says, hey, I want you to score a piece of music to this. So the process is just opening up like Pro Tools or something like that, and I just start working, I just start writing.
You're very interactive with your fans, even allowing them to view and interact with some remix sessions. How was that experience?
It's been great. I mean, we have generated thousands of different remixes for probably 10 or 12 of my tracks. We've actually opened the remix community, which is fixedremix.com, fixedremix.com. We've opened that up to other artists too. We're about to host we're about to open that up. We have opened that up to other artists. We're hosting a Frontline Assembly remix competition pretty soon, and I know we're in talks with some other artists as well. So it's been cool. It's been the reaction's been pretty good.
Cool. With such varying instrumentals in your music, how would you categorize yourself?
I don't. Everybody else does.
All right. You are releasing "Wish Upon a Black Star" currently in a digital chapters of 2 songs each. Could you comment on that?
There is no mold in the current musical climate. There's no mold. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. And for me, it makes the most sense to release 2 songs at a time because my songs are not quick to make.
Right.
So when they're done, I craft those, put them together, release them with instrumentals, and generally about 20 or 30 versions of demos of those songs. So you can kind of, for fans, can hear the progression of how the song started, maybe in its original form as a demo, all the way up to the final product. Cool. And that's really worked. That's worked well for me.
Now another kind of fun question: what is your favorite city to play in, and why?
I don't have one because I haven't been to enough to really. I'm hoping Tokyo is, but I haven't been there yet. We'll be there in December.
That's awesome. Footage, man. Do you have any funny stories about touring or making CDs or whatever you could share?
Oh, I have lots. Oh, that I could share? I don't know about that. I just have lots. We could just say that.
And lastly, where do you see the future of music heading, and where do you see yourself in that future?
Well, I've always been one of these artists that never really has concerned himself with where other people are going with things. It's more about where do I want to go. So I'm not sure where music is headed at all. I don't think anybody really is. It's more, for me, it's more about where am I headed. And, you know, the whole touring aspect of this is kicking up again for me, so I'm excited about that. And I think there's going to be a lot more, I do plan on doing film work, like actually scoring maybe movies, constantly writing as an artist, probably doing remixes, collaborations. I mean, it's a wide open path in front of me, and I can pick any direction I want, and probably a few paths simultaneously.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for the interview.
No problem.